My Lords, when I first read the title of this bill, I did wonder about the ferrets, but now I understand, because dogs, cats and ferrets can carry rabies and therefore and are kept as pets, although I've never kept a ferret, but obviously, you know, who knows about the future. So I look forward at some point to I don't often agree with the Noble Lord Black, but I did agree with his closing statement about the need for speed, because this is obviously an outline, and it is something that's going to need a lot of subsequent work from all sorts of stakeholders to make sure that it does become legislation, binding legislation, and that it is clear that we can put criminal gangs and animals, disturbed, traumatised, damaged, vulnerable animals out of their desperate straits as well. Because this is a bill that I strongly support, as does the Green Party, and it does seek to improve animal welfare and reduce the illegal criminal exploitation of non-commercial pet travel rules. So that this bill is also known apparently as the puppy smuggling bill, because criminal gangs have been exploiting loopholes in the law and avoiding health and welfare checks that the UK strongly requires. But this process is going to need a lot of work in the future, and to stop all further illegal exploitation and to stop animals being imported having experienced great cruelty and becoming very traumatised is going to be a lot of work. I loathe the whole idea of subsequent legislation that we never get to comment on, but it is, in this case, absolutely crucial. And what we know is that heavily pregnant bitches are sent in cramped conditions without concern for their well-being or their future, and puppies removed from their mothers at too young an age, transported in unsafe conditions, possibly unvaccinated, often with mutilations such as docked ears or tails, or cats that are declawed. And when I first read that, and even reading it now, it makes me feel quite ill that we can treat animals in this way. And having read the background to this bill and the many emails and the briefings that we've heard about it, I do thank people who've written to me to say that they have fears about the legislation, and I do understand those fears, and I accept that there could be problems going forward, but I'm afraid this is a bill that has its time, and its time is now. And when I read about animals in war zones that need rescuing and rehoming, I do feel incredibly sad for them, but at the same time, we have to be sure that here in the UK, we do have stringent welfare conditions for our animals. And of course, I'd like to thank Battersea Dogs and Cats Home for their excellent briefing and their very strong push to support this bill. So I would argue that similar bills have failed in the past, but we can't actually afford to let this bill not be passed, not become legislation, and I do look forward to cooperation on all sides of the House. How unusual to have a bill that everybody supports. It's a real pleasure. Thank you.